Hey guys, Quackers Clocks here. I hope everybody had a fantastic new year and a fantastic holiday season. I am with you today for another set of NFL predictions. This time, it's week number 18. It's the final week of the regular season. Next week, we'll be going over wild card matchups, and I'll be making my picks based on those. So, I will not be going 0-16 this week. So, I will have a better record than I did in 2023. I have 178 games predicted correctly. So, anyways, let's get on with the picks here. So, the Cleveland Browns take on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go with Baltimore. They will clinch the AFC North in the number 3 seed and will possibly play the Los Angeles Chargers if my next pick works out. If two of my picks work out here. So the Ravens will play the Chargers next week in Baltimore, and they would clinch the AFC North. The Browns would finish with 14 losses, 3-14 on the year. And they're going to get a top 3 pick in the draft. So, and they wouldn't, I don't think they'll clinch the number 1 overall pick because New England, Tennessee, and the Giants are on their tail as well. So, yeah. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. They will finish with a 12-5 record and will be the number 3 seed in the AFC. And they'll clinch that. Whoever wins the AFC North is clinching the number 3 seed because the Buffalo Bills have already clinched the 2 seed and the Chiefs have already clinched the number 1 seed. So, and the Texans have the number 4 seed wrapped up. So, I'm going with the Ravens. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to go with the Steelers for this matchup. This would put the Steelers at the number 5 seed, depending on what happens with the Chargers game. If the Steelers win and the Chargers win or lose, they will still be the number 5 seed since they have the tiebreaker, since the Steelers beat them earlier in the year in Week 3. The Bengals will be officially eliminated from the playoffs with this win. With the Steelers beating the Bengals will be officially out. And that helps Denver and Miami. So if the Steelers win, it helps the Broncos and the Dolphins. If the Broncos win, they're in. If the Bengals lose, they're not in. If the Dolphins win and the Broncos and Bengals both lose, the Dolphins are in. So that's basically what the number 7 seed is right now. A lot of this is about playoff, like the number 7 seed clinching the number 7 seed and just seeding. That's usually how Week 18 works. Some of the matchups are for division titles. Some of them are for wild card spots. I mean, all the wild card spots in both conferences are locked up except for the AFC. Well, actually, no, the wild card spots in the NFC are locked up, but it'll be based on seeding. But I'm going to go with the Steelers. They will finish with the year 11-6, and the Cincinnati Bengals will be going home without a playoff berth at 8-9. The Carolina Panthers take on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons for this matchup. I believe Michael Penix will be starting in this game. This is for the division title. Since in order for the Falcons to win the division, they need Tampa Bay to lose, and the Falcons need to win. So if the Falcons win and Tampa Bay loses, they are in the playoffs as the number 4 seed in the NFC. And that's for the Carolina Panthers. They've been out for a while. They are 4-12, and they're going to finish the year 4-13. I believe the Falcons will finish with a 9-8 record. But I'll be talking about Tampa Bay, New Orleans in a little bit. So, anyways, let's move on to the next pick. The Houston Texans are taking on the Tennessee Titans. I'm going with the Texans. The Titans are an inch closer to that number 2 spot in the draft. As for the Texans, they have nothing to play for. They've clinched the number 4 seed. They'll be 10-7 if they win. If they'll be 9-8 if they end up, losing to the Titans. But that kind of helps. The Titans winning helps New England in their number 1 overall pick. They probably will trade that number 1 pick to somebody else. But I'm going to go with the Texans. They will finish the year 10-7, and the Titans 9. No, the Titans don't have 9 wins. They have 3 wins. They will be 3-14. Next, we have the New York Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Another meaningless game for the NFC playoff picture. The Eagles have already wrapped up the number 2 seed, and they clinched the NFC East last week with their win against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going with the Eagles regardless, because the Giants are also eschewing. They're playing for draft position at this point. They currently hold the number 4 overall pick, and if the Giants win, then that goes out the window. But if the Giants lose and everybody else wins, the Giants clinch the number 1 pick. So it's a 4-way tie at the moment for that number 1 spot. So I am going with the Philadelphia Eagles. They will finish the year 14-3, just like they did in 2022. And the Giants will finish 3-14. So 2 teams on opposite paths. The Jacksonville Jaguars are taking on the Indianapolis Colts. This is also another meaningless game in the AFC. Both of these teams have been eliminated from the playoffs. But I believe this is for draft position as well. The Jaguars will probably have a top 6 pick in the draft. And as for the Colts, they'll probably have a mid-first round pick, like 15th overall or something. I believe the Colts will win this game here over the Jaguars. The Jaguars will finish with a 4-13 record. And hopefully they fire Doug Peterson, they fire Trent Baalke, they clean house. Let's just hope that happens. And as for the Indianapolis Colts, they are finishing with an 8-9 record. So, they shouldn't have lost to the Giants. You know who else shouldn't have lost to the Giants? The Seattle Seahawks. So, I am going with the Indianapolis Colts over the Jaguars. The Washington Commanders are taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This game has a little bit of meaning, especially for, playoff seeding. I'll get down to the Bears-Packers game, which is next. But if the Commanders win and the Packers lose, they clinch the number 6 seed. And they would go on to play the Rams, since they already have the number 3 seed locked up. But if the Commanders lose and the Packers win, then the Packers would go play the Rams in the wild card. But if both teams win, the Commanders would be the 6th seed, and Green Bay would be seed number 7, and they would play Philadelphia. So I am going with the Commanders for this game. They will be the number 6 seed. They will play the LA Rams. And they would finish the year 12-5. Also, congratulations to Jaden Daniels on becoming a first-time Pro Bowler in his rookie season. Next, we have the Chicago Bears taking on the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with the Packers for this game. The Bears have nothing to play for other than draft position. They will finish the year 4-13. Same with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Packers will be the number 7 seed at 12-5. They would go and play Philadelphia in Philadelphia. So, but yeah, I'm going with the Packers. They would finish the year 12-5 as the number 7 seed. Next, we have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is for the NFC South title. I'm going with the Bucs. So regardless if Atlanta beats the Panthers, the Tampa Bay Bucs will clinch the NFC South and eliminate the Atlanta Falcons. So, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers, and they will finish the year 10-7. They will have the number 4 seed all locked up. And yeah, they will have the number 4 seed, and they will play, I believe, the winner of Vikings-Lions. So it's either going to be the Vikings or the Lions. The Buffalo Bills will be taking on the New England Patriots at the end of the year. They already have the number 2 seed locked up. They probably won't play their starters, and I think they'll still win because New England is still playing for that number 1 draft pick. As for the Buffalo Bills, they will finish the year 14-3, and the Patriots will finish the year 3-14. Very similar to last year. Actually, no, they finished the year 4-13 last year, so. But they do have 13 losses this year, so I'm going with the Bills. The Los Angeles Chargers are taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. This is for the number 5 seed in the NFC, or the AFC, I should say. If the Chargers win and the Steelers lose to the Bengals, then the Chargers would have the number 5 seed, and they would go and play the Texans. And if the Chargers and Steelers both win, then the Chargers would go play Baltimore. So they already have a playoff spot. And as for the Raiders, yeah, keep messing up your tank so that you don't get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. You need a quarterback bad. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. They will finish the year 11-6, and the Raiders will finish the year 4-13 and probably fire Antonio Pierce. But we can all dream, can't we? 5 more games to go. The San Francisco 49ers are taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I'm actually going with the Cardinals. They have a better record. This game means nothing except for the draft position. The 49ers were just battered by injuries this year, and when they're battered by injuries, it just shows that they're bad. They're 6-10. They lost to the Detroit Lions, and I believe the Super Bowl hangover is super real. So, the 49ers will finish with a record of 6-11, and the Cardinals will finish the year with an 8-9 record. So, I am picking the Arizona Cardinals. The Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Denver Broncos. they don't have nothing to play for besides, playoff seeding. But the Broncos are playing for a playoff. The Broncos are playing for a playoff spot. And if the Broncos do beat the Chiefs, yeah, I'm not going to hear the end of it. But I am picking the Chiefs. They will finish the year 16-1. They already broke their record for their greatest record in franchise history with 15 wins. They'll have 16 wins. And the Denver Broncos will be 9-8, and they will be eliminated from the playoffs. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams. I'm picking the Rams here. The Seahawks, well, although they did beat the Chicago Bears last week, they were eliminated because of strength of victory. And I believe this was supposed to be for the division, but the Rams already wrapped it up. So, it doesn't matter. The Rams have the tiebreaker. They've already clinched the NFC West. So, but I am going with the Rams. They're going to finish with an 11-6 record, and the Seahawks will finish with a 9-8 record. The Miami Dolphins are taking on the New York Jets. I am going with the Dolphins. So, according to my picks, the Bengals are out, the Broncos are out. So that means the Miami Dolphins will be the number 7 seed in the AFC. And the Jets will finish with a top 10 pick. The Dolphins will finish with a 9-8 record, and the Jets will finish 4-13. So, not a good look. I heard they're going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams in the offseason. So, I wonder if they're going to sign with the same team next year. Probably will sign with the Vikings, but, I don't think they need a quarterback. But I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. This will put them at 9-8, and they will be the 7th seed playing the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round. And last but not least, Game 272. I predicted this a couple weeks ago. Vikings-Lions. Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions. This game has teams that have a combined record of 28-4. So, one of these games.
Alex?
Yes?
Are you taking a shower?
Yes, I did. One of these games is for the number 1 seed in the NFC and the NFC North title. I am going with the Detroit Lions over the Minnesota Vikings. This will put them at 15-2. And the Minnesota Vikings will finish with a record of 14-3 and will play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wild card round. That is it for regular season predictions. That doesn't get any more clear than that. So, according to my picks, the wild card matchups would be Bills-Dolphins, Chargers-Ravens, and Steelers-Texans in the AFC. And in the NFC, it would be Vikings-Buccaneers, Commanders-Rams, and Packers-Eagles in the NFC. Let's see if those hold up. So, anyways, we'll see you guys next week on Thursday, January 9th for my wild card predictions.